Hi. Uh, hello everyone. Yeah, my name is Arthur. I am a proud father of Laura. I love meeting people and talking, and also a Magic the Gathering player. So please reach out to me to talk about other things than Clojure. Also, I'm a software engineer at Nubank, focusing on developer tools and developer experience. I am a member of the Inner Source Commons Foundation and also organizer of the Clojure Brazilian community. So if you are a Portuguese speaker, I will be happy to have you there. Okay. Today I will talk about the Clojure LSP IntelliJ and Clojure REPL IntelliJ. They are two free and open source plugins to add support for Clojure on IntelliJ. They are made by me and Eric Dallo. Uh, and I start with the motivation, right? Why to create a IDE plugin? First thing is like you get a little bit of context. So at Nubank, we use Clojure LSP. For those who doesn't know, Clojure LSP is the language server for Clojure, and it uses a lot of other libraries to provide some canonical ways to define guidelines. So it uses CLJ to ensure that your code is formatted. CLJ Condo to do statistical analysis of your code. CLJ Depend, there is a library to ensure that you can put rules about which namespace can depend on other namespace. So this way you can ensure that your code base is following architecture design that you want. Also, we have a lot of custom linters, both on Clojure LSP and CLJ Condo, to avoid like crashes and bugs for things that we already know. And also we put all of this together in a common config place. There is like a repository with all of those configurations. So every repository just needs to add this other project as a dependency. And since those libraries use the source path of the project to get the configuration, it already got all of this. So it's a way to keep the consistent between all the projects that you have in your company. If you want to know more about this, there is a talk from Eric in the 2023 Conj. It's a whole talk just talking about this and how we use this. Is the Clojure SP one too should link them all. But it's just to give a context like why. So I am an IntelliJ user, also use VSCode, but I was missing all those features when I was working in IntelliJ. And also there is another motivation that I was waiting too long to have my own Clojure pet project, right? So I want to learn new things and like work with a different domain I was not working my daily job, and also new challenge. And whoa, there is a lot of challenge when you are talking about IntelliJ API and working with those kind of things. Okay, so a little bit about the plugins. They are mostly reading Clojure. There are a little bit about Java and Kotlin that we are not able to get rid of. It's a Gradle project. It was the first time that I was working with a Gradle project using Clojure. I discovered the Clojure Fund. There is a plugin to Gradle projects to have the Clojure tasks there. And also, both plugins, they use another library, that is CLJ for IntelliJ, that we created with a lot of abstractions about what we learned while developing those two plugins. So if you want to create a new plugin for IntelliJ, please take a look to these libraries, like a lot of utils functions and some helper functions to avoid like a lot of boilerplate. Nice. So talking about the features that I already have there, I just want to highlight some of them. So most LSP features are already there. So format, slurp, barf, refactor, and a lot of others. There is already local and remote REPL, inline eval, call hierarchy, custom code actions, and also REPL in the dev environment. I will show to you all of them, so just to highlight. So let's go through the IntelliJ. Let me know if it's good like to read here. So for those who are not familiar with the IntelliJ, so to run something like a REPL in IntelliJ, it uses something called configurations. So you need to create a configuration to run them. So the Clojure REPL plugins provide the local and remote here. So here an example of a local one. Like I can select the project. If I'm working with more than one, I can select the one that I want. And the type here is Gradle because the project is Gradle, but can be line, Clojure, and so on. And also you have like the remote, so you can just select the host, the port, or you can read from the REPL file. It gets automatically from there, right? So to run, you can just click to run. It will start, and I hope that demo gods will help me today. So it is starting here, and it shows like what is the command that it run. And now I have a REPL working here, same that you probably use it in most of the places, okay? So just to show, and also I can go to the file and evaluate a code, and we have the inline evaluation here, okay? So it's the pretty same experience that you have in other places. Showing a little bit, so Clojure LSP showed to me all the reference that I have from this function, and also it showed that I have 2 reference and 5 reference in tests, so it's good to understand, and it showed here to me. Also to take a look that this function does not have any test for it, so it's something that I need to work on. So let's show another features. So let's say that we have this code that is this sum collection here. As I mentioned, I can just evaluate the code to show it here. But there is like other options that we can do. So I can just open the context action. So I can just say to sort the items that I have. Also, if I don't want like this vector, I can just change it to be a set. And I already have like CLJ Condo say to me that, oh, you have a duplicate set of the elements. So this is pretty useful, and were those kind of things that I was missing to have like them pretty standardized. Another thing is that I can go here and say dev name conj. So it already is gray, so because the name is already refers to Clojure core name, so maybe you want to change this to be this audience, and then I can just say the famous hello, so hello audience, audience, okay. And now it shows. So let's say that I want to do this uppercase. I can just use the slurp that we have in other places. And then it got me this green squiggle, just say, oh, you didn't set the one-on reflection, so I don't know if you work it with interoperability, so it's good to have this, the one-on reflection, so it helps you. So it's something that I already have with the Clojure LSP. Another thing that is useful, so you can just go here and say, this code is not good, so I want to do like thread last all, and it just changed to me the code. But also I can just say, please rewind this because I didn't like, and it go back to this. So it's pretty nice to have these things when you are working. Another feature that I want to show is that, let me just move this. I will load the file here. And, okay. So I can go here in the eval action and just, here is how I open the actions on IntelliJ, and I say just, I can open the call hierarchy key. So it will show to me every function that is calling this function in my project, but also I can just do the opposite and say, oh, which functions my function is calling. So this is a pretty nice feature also to have. And also, I want to show something that is the custom code actions that I mentioned. So you can put inside your project, inside the .clj REPL IntelliJ, a file. So this file is basically a configuration where you can just put like some actions and some codes to be executed. So you can bind shortcuts to them. So you can go like in a place where you have the code, open and find the reload word action. So if I press it and run, it just run the custom code action that is println and hello world. So you can see that it's printed here. This is like just a quick example, but it's really powerful when you have like shared code base and things that you usually do and need to run on REPL, you can do that. So thinking about this and also inspired by Canva, you can configure this in your project, also in your user configuration in your machine, so every project has. And a nice thing that Canva has and we also added is that, let's say that I have a library and I want to expose with my library some cool commands that people usually do. To be easier for them. So here just yesterday I watched a workshop about clay and I just made it here. So I create, so my library does not do anything, it's just an example. So, but I create these CLJ REPL IntelliJ exports and I put the config at the end there. So I just say that this is the name, and do this, like require the Clay API and do the Clay make for a single form. And also for the current file, you can also do this. So what happened is that I can go here and say, Clay, run this single form to me make, and it will just open the notebook that they do and open with the result here. It's pretty nice. But also I can do this for the entire file. So the current file, and it just evaluate all the things here and show to me. So this is pretty nice. I would like to test this with Civitas repository to check how it works. But it's a really powerful thing. The last feature that I want to share here, I will connect with the remote REPL. So I just stop it and I will play here. So I am already connected in a remote REPL. So let's go back here and, okay. So I'm just load the file. So let's show to you. So I loaded the file and it shows to me loaded file and all the path, right? So the REPL that I'm connected is an internal REPL. So when you build the plugin locally in the development environment, when you use it inside the IntelliJ, we just run a REPL inside the IntelliJ. So I am connected to the REPL of my plugin inside the IntelliJ. So what I will do is that, so this is the function that loads the file in the REPL. So I will change here to say, hey, Clojurians, loaded the file, okay? So I will evaluate the fun at the cursor, and now if I just load the file, you can see, hey, Clojurians. So this is probably most of you know the power of the REPL. So developing a tool for your development environment and be able to hack while you are developing is pretty nice. So it's a good experience, and both the Clojure REPL IntelliJ and the Clojure LSP IntelliJ both have this this feature. So it's pretty nice to work with this, and like easier also to understand and hack your own environment. Nice. So yeah, I show most of the features here, and just to this is just like some prints. So if the demo goes wrong, I have them. So challenges and learnings. So the first challenge is the IntelliJ API. It's really hard, the documentation. They change and do breaking changes a lot. So it's pretty hard to follow. And also they expect a lot of classes, right? So we have to work like a lot of gen class, Hey5, proxy, proxy plus, and it's really hard to understand this and have documentations and good examples, so it was pretty hard to make it happen, but I learned a lot. There is a lot of interoperability, and as I mentioned, we have one single jar that runs in every IntelliJ versions. We decided to do this, but since they have breaking changes, I need to do some reflections to say, hey, does this method exist? Or this method exists, but this is the signature because they changed the signature because they want. So it was pretty nice. Also work with Cider and REPL and middlewares was the first time that I was like in the other side, like take a look to the protocol. It's pretty nice. Also, there's a library called Sisal. I don't know if you know it, but it was my first time also. It's a library to use like the Java Swing AIs, build them, so all the configurations that I show is built with this library. And also tests was really hard to do. Like test the closure is pretty okay. Like we know how to do that, but I just want to show something that we made that is like this REPL without test. So let me get some zoom here. And so this is just like, I create a fixture for my project. Here, I just create a file that is a depth EDN. I create a project. And then I say, open the fixture, the depth file in your project. So I can get like the Clojure REPL and the Clojure LSP running. And then I just create like a configuration, as I mentioned, right? I put the project name and the type of it. And then I just execute the configuration. I wait the console UI to be ready. Then I just go there and say, wait to be like the user prompt expecting. Then I just say, oh, now try to evaluate this on the console. And then check if the content is like the sum of 1 and 1, the result 2, and then it's expecting the user to put the prompt again. So this is a big challenge and also really good to see. So that's it. Thank you, and like I welcome you to try it and also contribute because they are open source and written Clojure. So that's it. Thank you all.